The Court of the Wronged Octopus. With knife and fork they pushed their greens around the patterned plates. The meal was served at 7, now it was nearly 8. All that remained, a thing that brought these kids to tears, an armoury of cold and wet asparagus spears. Daddy, taking pity, tried to spur them on.
Asparagus was handy when the war was on. Apparently, asparagus makes you wee smell. And if you wee in the sea, well, I best not tell.
A certain light now in their eyes, they held their noses and munched wet green asparagus in measured doses. Free at last, they tumbled out into the street. Hard tarmac soon gave way to sand beneath their feet, this seaside holiday being their summer treat. Should we go now or should we wait? Do it now, it's 8:30. At 8:30, Daddy will be shouting at the gate. And so they pulled their pants down. Brother stood and sister sat. They wee-weed in the water, and that was that. They stood a full 5 minutes. All was calm, all was flat. Then the first dim ripples in the fading light, before the waves stood trembling as evening turned to night. Doors and tunnels opened deep into the blue, as the ocean split itself in salty two. A million eyes that shone with secrets of the deep, souls who slumbered centuries now wiped their eyes of sleep. Tiny fish in flashing shoals, a million crabs in sideways motion, every single jellyfish that wobbles in the ocean. Flatfish, killer whales, seahorse at a gallop, mussels, clams and razor shells, a solitary scallop. Dogfish and catfish, their troubles set aside, a teeming mass of writhing eels became a living tide. The sister held the brother's hand as they stood trembling on the sand. All was silence in the space where water meets the land. A court of the aquatic, these two as they accused, who'd wee-weed in the water and asparagus refused. Upon the wind, their father's voice, "Come on, it's getting late!" And then, in wig of white, Judge Octopus with arms of 8. A gavel in each tentacle, he beat the rocky shore.
"How do you plead? And don't say innocent. Innocence is a bore."
They cried for Dad. They wet their pants. "We're sorry," they agreed. "We wish we'd eaten up our greens. We wish we hadn't weed." The jabbering judge looked at them with a reprimanding eye. The suckers on his tentacles uncomfortably dry.
"Let that be a lesson, and let me never see you up before this court again for a sneaky seaside wee. And for the other matter of not eating up your greens, I sentence you to Brussels sprouts until you're 17. So off you go, back to your dad, but this advice I'll give. You may be on your holidays, but we know where you live."